ever once gone live on YouTube, so this is a real treat for me. I didn't think I was going to be able to get in. So my name is Colette VanPaemel. I'm going to be showing you, to the best of my ability, latte makeup. Now, you may not know what the heck that means, and essentially it is just a very warm brown glowy kind of makeup look. So whoops, wrong one. So I have these shades here, which I'm going to be showing you, and we're going to do this kind of for the first time together. Now I always start with my my eyeshadow, and I do that because I get real messy with it, and because I don't want to do that, I do my eyeshadow first, and then I can use my makeup to actually like clean up under it. So I like to start with a little bit of an eye primer. You can just use any one of your highlight shades, but I just like to even out the skin tone first, and it's just going to make the color of the eyeshadow that I use just that much prettier. Just dabbing that on very, very lightly. There we go. Okay, so part of the latte look is always like browns, gold shades of, various shades of those. So I am actually going to start with this shade right here, which is called Chai. And I'm going to just apply that all over my lid. And I'm also going to take that same shade and go on the bottom of my lash line. And remember, you can really just use any brown shades that you already own. And under. All right, so next I'm going to take the darker shade. This one that I'm using is called Philly. And I'm just going to take a little bit on the brush, click off the excess, and I'm going to go right up above my crease. If you are somebody who has hooded eyes, or you are mature like myself, chronologically I'm mature, then you may have sagging skin and a hooded eye that you want to try to give the illusion that it is more open. So by taking it and going in the orbital bone above your natural crease, it's going to give the illusion that it is more wide open. And it just adds some warmth and depth. And then again, I take it on the bottom lash line. So above that crease there. And then just like a windshield wiper, you are just going back and forth. And just a little bit out in this outer V, as they call it, and under the lash line. See, very simple, very neutral. I'm actually going to put a little more right up here. Okay. Now I am going to take, let's see if I'm going to do eyeliner first. Let's take this lighter shade here. It's actually a shimmery shade. It's called You Complete Me. It is one of my favorite shades ever. And because we just want to give a little bit of a glow to our eyeshadow look, I'm just going to put that right in the center. Honestly, if you don't have the shade, you need to get it. It's so beautiful. You can wear it on your own. You can wear it with any eyeshadow combination that you want. And I may even take, so I'm going to take, yeah, I'll use this end of the brush. This is the eyeshadow brush, by the way. I'm going to take a little bit of that You Completely, that little shimmer shade, and I'm just going to put a little bit right in the inner corner of the eye. And then I want to use some eyeliner. So I'm actually going to use this color right here, which is Cola. It's actually one of our highlight shades, or I'm sorry, contour shades. but I really love it for eyeliner. And I was gonna use my new etch brush if I could find it, but I can't. So we're gonna use this random brush here. So I'm just gonna take Cola on the smaller end of this brush, and I'm gonna get it as close to the lash line as I possibly can. So I'm not going for a heavy eyeliner look. I just kind of want it to look more, want my eyes to look a little more defined. And maybe just a very slight wing out at the end. I don't think I'm going to put anything down here. I don't think I'm going to line that area. Same thing over here. As close to the lash line as you can get. And just a little wing in the corner there. Okay, now I actually do feel like I want to darken up this underneath part a little bit. So I'm going to take a smaller brush. This angled brush ought to do it. I'm going to go back into that brown color Philly I was using and just kind of use that to give my eye a little more definition on the bottom. Like that. Okay, so we have the first, now I gotta say this, I have fake lashes on. So if you need mascara at this point, now would be the time to whip out your mascara and put that on. This is one I've been using lately that I really like. It's called FanFest by Benefit, and it really does a good job of volumizing and lengthening your lashes. Okay, so the really fun part, the part I really don't like doing my eyes, to be honest with you. I like this part of it. So because we're doing latte makeup and it's all about a bronzed look, I'm going to start with Bella Bronzer. It's the shade right here. Taking the large end of the blush and bronzer brush, and I am just tapping all over on the brush just to make sure it's covered well. And then I'm just going to go around and I'm going to apply this lightly all over my face. Now I love doing this whether I'm doing a latte look or not, because the bronzer just helps to even out areas where you might have melasma or age spots, or like me, like this area here is always very pale in comparison to the rest of my face. And I don't like personally applying bronzer after I've put on my beautiful makeup because I feel like it just kind of ruins it all. I'm even going to put a little bit right here under my eyes so you can see when you look at me, this whole area here is very, very light and it becomes very distracting. So just taking a little bit of the bronzer is going to help to balance that out a little bit. All right, so once you've got that on, you can go around. This brush is so super soft and gentle on your face. So normally I tell you to tap and stipple, but I feel like with this brush, it's not going to do any kind of damage to your skin. So go ahead and swirl away. Okay, so there we have it. We just have Bella Bronzer on. That is our first step. I feel like I match my sweater now. Now that you've done that, and once you've used the bronzer to kind of even out your skin tone, what's going to happen is when you go to use your regular makeup, your regular foundation, you're not going to need near as much. And though we're going to be covering areas of our face that we applied the bronzer, it's going to be very minimal. It's still going to allow the bronzer to shine through. So the shade that I'm using is called Sandy. Actually, I mix Sandy and Athens together. That is my preferred mix right now. And I'm really just going to really focus on applying it to the areas that I really feel like have some additional redness or that I really need some extra coverage in. And that's typically like my forehead, sides of my nose, this cheek area right here, my chin. So you don't ever feel like you have to put your main foundation shade everywhere. I put it here in my temple because I have some veining here that I'm not such a fan of. And for the most part, I'm kind of leaving this whole area open because I'm going to put contour there. And our contours, if you don't know, do have coverage in them, so there's really no need to overdo it. And I'm using the shape brush. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite brushes for applying my makeup, well, specifically my highlight shades, because it's just so soft, fluffy, gives a nice light coverage, and you really can't overdo it with this brush. It will not allow that. Center my forehead. And again, I've left this area open for the most part. I'm going to grab a mirror and see what we got going here. A little difficult to apply your makeup on using just your phone screen. I don't know, I was picking at something last night, so I got a nice little friend dealing with today. All right, next, I'm going to take my contour, and the shade I'm going to be using is, I'm actually going to mix Ash, which is this shade, and Indigo. And I'm taking the edge of my detail brush and just going between the two, just tapping between the two, and start directly below my cheekbone, like that, and then blend upward. Just kind of chisel out that cheekbone. And then when we put blush on, we're going to blend, we're kind of going to merge the two together. So I always teach to use your actual cheekbone as your guide. I don't believe in like crazy hacks. I always think they look silly. That's, again, just my personal opinion. Now, on my forehead, I typically will just do Indigo, and I take that on the flat end and just start tapping it out. Ooh, I'm taking a little too much, but as you may or may not know, one of the great things about this makeup is how easily it blends, and there really are no mistakes because they're so easily fixed. So I go in this half moon shape like that, and then I just take the edge of the brush and feather it downward to just soften up any lines of demarcation there. And then we take a little bit of that ash contour and just go a little bit along my jawline, skipping this jowl area, and then a little bit under. Okay, so we've contoured, we've highlighted. Now we're going to add some blush, and that was the only thing I did not account for in here. So let me see what we got. I've got quite a selection of blushes. Now, we still want to stay kind of in the bronzy family, so I think I'm going to choose this one, which is Sandstone. Take a little bit of that in my brush and just tap it directly above where I applied my contour. Isn't that a beautiful color? And Sandstone is a staple in many, many a compact. Another color that you can almost use as a bronzer too. Okay, now we're going to do our lips. I'm going to grab my multitasker brush, and I like to use, again, indigo contour to line my lips. This is the multitasker brush. Just line very lightly around the bottom, and then with your upper lip, this is how I teach to line your upper lip, is to start down here at the corner and then go up towards your cupid's bow. And the reason that I say that is because typically if we start at the cupid's bow and go down, we all have a tendency to stop short of the corner of our lip, and when we do that, I feel like we are losing some valuable lip space. Indigo contour is on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of that. If you want to do like a little bit of a ombre look, you can actually take your indigo and bring it in a little further. Specifically on the bottom, but you want to do a little bit on the top. Yeah. And then for our lips, I want to keep them relatively nude for this look. So I'm going to mix, this is Love Spell. I'm going to mix that. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's Love Spell. I'm going to mix a little bit of that with this shade here, which is August. And put it right here in the center. Now, if you don't have these shades specifically, just, you know, really any darker, like if you have Black Cherry or Renaissance or Spellbound is one of our new ones for the darker part. And then you can use Bear is a good one, Summer Love, any of those shades for the center. Now this is definitely more of a nude lip than what I would typically wear. So it might take a little bit to, get used to it, but I don't hate it. I actually kind of like it. I might even want to take, so I'm going to be using Honey Illuminator on my cheeks in a second, but I think I'm going to take a little bit of that, put it in the center of my lips, just again to give more of that glowy skin look. And then we are going to also put it on our cheekbones. So the highest point of our cheekbone is where the light is naturally going to hit you. Put it on there. Put it on the tip of your nose. Now what I like to do after I've applied the majority of my makeup, or all of my makeup actually, is go around with a fluffy brush. You can use this brush again if you would like. Just remember it's probably going to have a little bit of the bronzer still left on it. I won't go into my eyebrows here for you, so I'm pretty sure you know how to fill in your brows. But this is my, oh wait, one more place. I want to put a little bit of Honey Illuminator again right on the brow bone, just to give it a little bit of glow. You can even, oh, you know what I didn't do? So silly, I didn't do my under eyes. So we're just going to do that very, very lightly. I'm going to take a little bit of Sunlit, tiny bit, and I'm really just applying it only where I have the most significant discoloration, which for me and for most people I think is the inner and outer corner of the eye. And by just doing the inner corner and then the outer corner and just kind of feathering it and merging it toward the center, you are going to use far less product, and you're not going to get any creasing because you have such a small amount of product. There really isn't enough to pool or crease. Using a fluffy brush helps too, something like this. This is the other end of the detail brush, because it doesn't allow you to deposit too much product. The other place I like to put a little bit of sunlit, and I might even mix it with a little bit of honey, is right in the center of my forehead, and just filling it out. And you know what? What the heck? We're going to do some nose contour real quick. I'm just going to take Ash Contour, the shade right here, and put it on my pinkies. So if you've never seen somebody do their nose contour like this, it's a great way to do it if you've never tried it. So I have it on both pinkies now. I rubbed it together, and then you're just going to hold your pinkies together really tightly and just run it on the flat top of your nose. You don't want to contour the sides of your nose, because if you do that, it's going to make it look as though you have a wider nose than you actually do. Unless you have a really super thin nose, which some people do, and in that case you might want to actually make it appear wider. Did I do a great job with this nose contour? No, I sure didn't. But go touch it up a little bit. Typically, the pinky thing works really well, but I have these cartilage bumps on my nose now that don't allow me to get it straight as I would like to. It's still not great, but add a touch of your illuminator or a lighter shade of highlight down the center, and it just brings it all together. So that is my version of latte makeup. It's probably wrong, but I actually think it's really pretty. I like that it's kind of monochromatic. I love all things monochromatic. So give it a try. Let us know what you think.